Lien stepped out of the shuttle, his boots sinking slightly into the soft, glowing soil. Zorath spread before him like a living painting. The sky was a swirl of green and purple hues, and distant mountains shimmered with strange metallic reflections. Lien felt a thrill of excitement. He had traveled far from Earth, across countless stars, to reach this world. His mission was simple in words but difficult in meaning. He was here to meet the rulers of Zorath, to build trust and understanding between humans and aliens. The air smelled sweet, like a mixture of honey and rain. Tiny lights floated around him, almost like fireflies, but they moved with purpose. Lien reached for his translator device and switched it on. He knew Zorathians did not speak like humans. Their language was a combination of sound and light, a musical vibration that seemed to flow through the air. The translator would change those vibrations into words he could understand. As he walked toward the city, Lien noticed the buildings. They were not made of metal or stone. Instead, they seemed to grow from the ground itself, twisting upward like giant crystals. Some floated in the air, held by unseen forces. Bridges connected them, and glowing patterns ran across the surfaces like rivers of light. Lien realized he had never seen anything so beautiful. He felt small, yet amazed, and for a moment, he forgot why he had come. A group of Zorathians appeared ahead. Their skin glimmered, reflecting the colors of the sky. Their eyes were large and calm, watching him carefully. Lien raised his hand in greeting, showing he meant no harm. The translator hummed softly. One of the Zorathians spoke, the words forming clearly in Lien's mind. "Human traveler," the voice said. "Why do you come to Zorath?" "I come with peace," Lien replied. "I am here to understand your people and share knowledge." The Zorathians exchanged glances. They spoke in a quick rhythm of musical tones, and then the first one nodded. "Follow us. The council will hear you." Lien followed the group through streets that seemed alive. Lights pulsed beneath his feet as he walked, changing color with every step. Strange creatures scuttled or flew along the sides of buildings. Some looked like animals, others like moving crystals, but all seemed aware of his presence. Lien felt no fear. He felt curiosity and wonder. He had read about Zorath in reports, but seeing it in person was different. Every detail made his heart race. The guides led him to a plaza at the center of the city. There, a fountain glowed with blue and gold light, sending waves of warmth into the air. Zorathians of many shapes and sizes gathered around. Lien could feel their attention, calm but intense, focused on him as if he were a new kind of creature to study. He bowed slightly, following the custom he had learned from his translator guide. A voice, gentle but firm, spoke from above. Lien looked up and saw her. Tala, the alien princess. She stood on a balcony made of clear crystal that reflected the sky. Her presence was commanding and serene. She was taller than most Zorathians, her skin shimmering with soft patterns that shifted like the sky. Her eyes were bright and intelligent, taking in every detail of Lien. Lien felt a strange mix of awe and nervousness. He had read about leaders who inspired loyalty just by standing in a room. Tala was one of them. But there was more than authority in her gaze. There was curiosity. She was studying him, trying to understand why a human had come so far. Lien straightened. "I am Lien, from Earth," he said. His voice sounded small against the vast city, but the translator made it clear. "I come to meet you and learn from your people." Tala stepped forward, her movements graceful and precise. Her skin reflected the light of the plaza, casting rainbow colors across the crowd. She nodded slowly. "Lien of Earth," she said, her voice musical. "Your journey is long and your courage clear. Enter the council hall." The council hall was inside a building that seemed to float above the plaza. Lien followed Tala and the guides into a wide room. Crystal pillars stretched upward, and light flowed across the walls in patterns that made the room feel alive. Zorathians filled the space, and Lien noticed the elders, older than Tala but not as tall. They were wise, their skin darker with age, their eyes deep with experience. One elder spoke, and the translator translated his tones. You come in peace, human. That is clear. Yet trust is earned, not given. Tell us why your people seek us now. Lien took a deep breath. Earth is new to space travel, he said. We seek knowledge. We seek friendship. We wish to learn from your experiences and share what we know. I hope we can build understanding between our worlds. The room fell silent. Lien felt the weight of the gaze of every Zorathian in the hall. He tried to stay calm, but his pulse quickened. Tala, however, looked thoughtful, not judgmental. She moved closer to him and whispered something that the translator turned into words. Your words are honest, human. Actions will tell us more. Suddenly, a soft vibration ran through the floor. The air shimmered. Lien realized the city itself seemed alive. Tala smiled faintly and gestured to a side chamber. You will see more of Zorath, she said. Come with me. As they walked together, Lien's mind raced. He had expected to meet leaders and diplomats. He had expected formal discussions. But Zorath was alive in a way that no book or report could capture. And Tala, the princess who few humans had seen, was leading him into the heart of her world. Tala led Lien through narrow streets that seemed alive with glowing patterns. Every step he took was met with soft pulses of light beneath his feet. He could feel energy moving in the air, subtle but powerful. The buildings around them grew taller and more intricate, twisting like crystal towers toward the sky. Some floated slightly above the ground, held by forces Lien did not yet understand. This way, Tala said, her voice gentle but firm. Her skin shimmered in soft waves, reflecting the colors of the surroundings. Lien noticed how her gaze moved quickly, scanning the streets and skies as if she were aware of every movement, every sound. It made him feel both safe and aware of how much he did not know about this world. They turned down a narrow alley, almost invisible to anyone who was not meant to see it. The walls here were smooth, clear, and glowed faintly with a golden hue. Lien realized the alley was not natural, it had been created intentionally, hidden from the main city. They reached a gate, made entirely of crystal. It pulsed with a gentle light, and Tala raised her hand. The gate opened silently, as if recognizing her presence. This is the way to the palace, Tala explained. Few outsiders have ever entered this part of Zorath. It is our most protected place. Lien followed her inside, awed. The palace was larger than anything he had imagined. Light flowed through walls and ceilings like rivers, and crystal pillars stretched upward, twisting toward openings that revealed the sky. The air felt charged with energy, warm and alive. He could see small orbs of light moving along the walls, hovering and changing color like living guides. Tala walked ahead, her movements graceful. Lien tried not to stare too much, but he could not help noticing how different she looked in this space. She was taller than most Zorathians, and her skin reflected the light in ways that made her seem almost part of the palace itself. She paused at a raised platform, her eyes scanning the room. Few have seen this, she said softly. You must understand, human, that this place is not just a palace. It is a center of energy, of thought, of our people's history. It responds to intention and presence. That is why you must be careful and respectful. Lien nodded. I will respect everything I see, he promised. I want to understand, not disturb. Tala smiled faintly. Good. That is why I allow you here. They continued through the palace, moving into a large central chamber. In the middle of the room was a platform of smooth crystal, surrounded by thin streams of glowing energy that rose and fell like gentle waves. Lien could feel warmth and vibration through the floor. It was as if the palace itself was alive, sensing who was inside. Suddenly, he saw her. Tala's figure shifted, and he realized she was standing fully in the chamber now. Light seemed to radiate from her skin, blending with the energy streams. She looked at him with intense curiosity, her eyes reflecting all the colors of the room. Lien froze for a moment, overwhelmed by the sight. He had expected a palace, but not a presence like this. Tala spoke, her voice calm but carrying weight. You see me now, human. Few outsiders ever do. Most only hear of me, or see my shadow from a distance. I must know if your heart is honest, if your mind is ready to understand Zorath. Lien swallowed and stepped forward. I am ready. I have traveled far to learn, to understand, and to help if I can. I mean no harm to you or your people. Tala studied him for a long moment. Then she nodded slightly. We will see. Actions speak more than words. As they spoke, the air in the chamber shifted. Lien noticed subtle movements in the energy streams, as if they were testing him. He felt a strange warmth move through his body, not unpleasant, but unusual. Tala noticed his reaction and raised an eyebrow. Do not fear it, she said. This palace knows your presence. It judges not by fear, but by intention. Lien focused, trying to calm his mind. He could feel the energy responding to his thoughts. He took a slow breath, moving his hands slightly to feel the flow around him. The palace seemed to relax, the streams of light becoming steady. Tala observed silently, her expression neutral but attentive. After a while, Tala led him deeper into the palace. They entered a corridor lined with panels that glowed softly. Images appeared on the panels, showing history, maps, and symbols of Zorathian knowledge. Lien could see their past, their discoveries, and their connections to other worlds. He was fascinated. Every image was filled with life and color, more vivid than any technology on Earth. You see our history, Tala said. It is important for you to understand it. Trust is built on knowledge, on respect for what has come before. Only then can you hope to work with us. Lien nodded, absorbing everything. It is incredible, he said. I have never seen anything like this. Your people have achieved so much. Earth could learn a great deal from Zorath. Tala's gaze softened slightly. Perhaps. But knowledge is not enough. Understanding and compassion matter more. You must show both if you wish to be trusted. Suddenly, a soft sound echoed through the chamber, like a warning bell. Tala's skin shimmered in brighter tones, alerting Lien to danger. The outer defenses have been breached, she said calmly. A small group is trying to enter without permission. We must act carefully. Lien's heart raced. He had expected diplomacy, not danger. But he felt ready. He had faced difficult situations before, though nothing like this. Tala looked at him, her eyes steady. Stay close, she said. Observe. Learn. You will see how we handle threats without harming our people. They moved quickly through hidden passages, the palace guiding them with gentle pulses of light. Lien followed Tala's lead, amazed at how her presence seemed to command the environment. Even in danger, she was calm and confident. As they reached a balcony overlooking the outer defenses, Lien could see the intruders. They were small in number but organized, moving carefully to avoid the palace guardians. Tala studied them, her face unreadable. Watch and remember, she said. True leadership is shown in action. Words alone do not protect a people. Lien nodded, understanding that he was witnessing more than a palace. He was witnessing the strength and wisdom of Zoratha's leadership, embodied in the alien princess before him. For the first time, he realized that his mission was not just to learn, but to see what humanity could aspire to in courage, intelligence, and honor. Tala had opened a door to a world unlike any other, and Lien was ready to step through it. The soft glow of Zoratha's palace stretched across the outer walls as Tala led Lien toward the observation balcony. Below, the intruders moved carefully, their forms dark against the luminous pathways. Lien could feel tension in the air, but Tala remained calm, almost serene. She had the presence of someone who understood danger and power in equal measure. "These are not ordinary travelers," Tala said, her voice soft, musical, yet firm. "They seek to disrupt, to challenge what we have built. Watch closely, human. There is much to learn from how a people protects itself." Lien focused, noticing the details he had not before. The intruders carried small devices that emitted faint pulses, which could interfere with the energy barriers surrounding the palace. He realized their intention was not random, they were organized, clever, and possibly dangerous. Tala raised a hand, and the air shifted. Streams of energy flowed downward, forming invisible walls that slowed the intruders' progress. They stumbled but continued forward, determined. Lien felt a surge of admiration. Tala did not strike them outright, she controlled the environment, using intelligence and skill to neutralize the threat without causing harm. "She controls everything without touching them," Lien whispered. The translator device repeated his words softly so Tala could hear. Tala looked at him briefly. "Understanding control without domination is key, Lien. Power is best shown through guidance, not force. Remember this. It applies to humans as well." Suddenly, a small figure separated from the group, trying to sneak around the energy streams. Lien instinctively pointed it out. "There. That one is trying to bypass the barrier." Tala's eyes followed his gesture. She moved with fluid precision, stepping toward the edge of the balcony. With a simple motion of her hand, a gentle field of light surrounded the intruder. The figure froze, unable to move, yet unharmed. Tala lowered her hand, and the intruder slowly sank to the ground, disarmed but safe. "They will learn quickly," Tala said. "And so will you, if you watch carefully. Courage alone is not enough. Knowledge, timing, and respect for life make true leadership." Lien nodded, absorbing every detail. He could see how Tala's actions were deliberate, measured. She combined intelligence, strategy, and compassion in ways humans rarely practiced. It made him reflect on his own people and what they could aspire to. The intruders hesitated, unsure of what to do next. Tala extended her hand, and the energy streams created a path toward the palace gates. The intruders were gently guided inside, not as enemies, but as visitors who must be shown the consequences of their choices. Lien realized this was not a simple confrontation, it was a lesson, both for the intruders and for himself. Inside the palace gates, Tala addressed the intruders. Her voice carried authority but no anger. "You seek to challenge the order of Zorith. We will not harm you, but you must understand respect. You are allowed here only because we choose to guide you, not punish you." The intruders lowered their heads, unsure of how to respond. Tala's calm power had a presence that made hesitation natural. Lien watched in awe. He had never seen diplomacy wielded as effectively as this. Tala turned to him. "Now you see, Lien. True leadership is shown in how one handles danger, not by fighting alone but by guiding and protecting. Remember this lesson well." Lien felt a surge of respect for the alien princess. He had come seeking knowledge of her people, but what he was learning went beyond science or culture. It was about courage, understanding, and responsibility. After the intruders were escorted to a secure chamber, Tala led Lien back to a quiet corridor in the palace. "It is time for us to speak," she said. "You must understand why you have come, and I must understand your intent fully. There can be no mistakes when humans and Zorithians interact." They entered a smaller room where light flowed gently from walls and ceiling. The air vibrated softly, carrying a sense of calm. Tala gestured for Lien to sit on a crystalline bench. He did so carefully, aware of the room's subtle energy. "I must ask you," Tala began, "why do humans seek contact with Zorith? You travel far, risk much, yet your presence here is rare. What drives your people to reach beyond their stars?" Lien thought for a moment. "We are curious," he said. "We are learning." Earth is small compared to the galaxy. We want to understand other civilizations, to grow, and to avoid mistakes we have made in our past. We wish to build friendships, not conflict. Tala listened, her expression thoughtful. Curiosity is important, but it is not enough. Humans must also understand responsibility. Knowledge without wisdom can be dangerous. Lien nodded. I understand. That is why I am here, not just to observe but to learn. I want to understand your people, your ways, and your choices. I hope I can share what I learn with Earth. Tala's eyes glimmered. Then you will see more than most humans ever will. But you must be prepared. Learning here is not easy. You will be tested, in thought, in courage, and in spirit. Are you ready for that? I am ready, Lien said firmly. He felt a determination rise inside him. He had traveled across stars for this moment. He would not fail. Tala nodded slightly. Good. Then our journey begins. She rose, and Lien followed. They moved to another chamber, one filled with images that floated in the air. The images showed Zoratha's history, its landscapes, and its people. Lien could see the ways Zorathians had survived natural disasters, solved conflicts, and expanded their knowledge of the galaxy. It was more than he had imagined. You see our past, Tala said. It is not only history. It is a guide. From it, you can learn how we handle challenges, and how humans might do the same. Observation is the first step to understanding. Lien reached out, careful not to touch the floating images, and traced a path through the history displayed. He was fascinated by the complexity, the care, and the wisdom that had been preserved through centuries. Tala observed silently, allowing him to explore. For the first time, Lien felt a connection not just to Zorath, but to its people. He realized that this was more than a mission of diplomacy. It was an opportunity to learn about courage, wisdom, and the true meaning of leadership. As they moved through the chamber, Tala spoke quietly. You will see more, Lien. But remember, the lessons here are not simple. They test not only knowledge but character. Are you prepared for what comes next? Lien looked at her, determination in his eyes. I am prepared, he said. I want to learn, to understand, and to help if I can. Tala's gaze softened slightly. Then we continue. The soft hum of the palace surrounded them as they walked toward the next chamber. Lien could feel anticipation growing. He knew the challenges ahead would be unlike anything he had faced on Earth. And yet, he felt ready. He had Tala, the alien princess, guiding him through a world that was beautiful, strange, and full of lessons. For Lien, this was more than first contact. It was the beginning of a journey that would change both him and the understanding between humans and Zorathians forever. The soft glow of the palace faded behind them as Tala led Lien through hidden corridors. Each path seemed alive, reacting to their presence. The walls pulsed gently with light, guiding them toward a secluded chamber. Lien followed silently, feeling both excitement and caution. He had already learned that Tala's world was unlike anything on Earth, but now he sensed something more urgent. Tala stopped in front of a crystalline door. This chamber is private, she said. Here, I will explain what must be done. Few outsiders are ever trusted with this knowledge. The door opened silently, revealing a room filled with maps, holographic images, and energy projections. Lien stepped inside, marveling at the complexity. The displays showed the layout of Zorath, its cities, energy nodes, and strategic locations. It was a detailed representation of the planet and its defenses. Tala moved to the center, her hands moving through the projections. A group of rebels seeks to challenge my rule, she explained. They are small in number but clever. They aim to disrupt the balance of our society. If they succeed, chaos could spread across Zorath. That is why I must act quickly and carefully. Lien studied the holograms. How can I help? He asked. His voice was calm, but his mind raced with possibilities. He had not expected to be involved in such a mission, yet he felt ready. "You have knowledge that can aid me," Tala said. "Humans think differently. You analyze problems from unexpected angles. That is why I brought you here. I need your perspective to succeed without unnecessary conflict." Lien nodded. "I will do my best." Tala's eyes glimmered. "Good. We must proceed carefully. The rebels are hidden in the Crystal Forest, not far from the city. They have devices that can interfere with our energy barriers. We must disable these devices and convince them to stop their plan before it escalates." Lien felt a thrill. He had expected diplomacy, but now he faced a mission that required strategy and courage. He looked at Tala, noting her calm confidence. "What is our plan?" he asked. Tala gestured to a map of the forest. "We will move quietly. You will observe and advise. I will lead. We must avoid unnecessary violence. The goal is to stop them with intelligence, not force." Lien studied the layout. The forest was dense, filled with glowing trees and floating energy fields. It was beautiful but dangerous. Strange creatures moved through the light, and sudden energy bursts could harm anyone who was careless. "We will split into 2 groups," Tala continued. "I will approach the main hideout. You will take a path around the perimeter. Observe their devices, report what you see, and help identify weaknesses. We communicate through the translator and the energy field." Lien nodded. "Understood." As they prepared to leave, Tala placed her hand on his shoulder. "Remember, human, caution is as important as courage. One mistake can change everything. Trust your senses, and trust me." They moved through a hidden exit, leaving the palace behind. The night air of Zorith was cool, carrying the scent of luminous flowers. The forest ahead glowed softly, the trees radiating patterns of light. Lien felt a mixture of awe and tension. He had trained for difficult missions on Earth, but nothing had prepared him for a place alive with energy and light. Tala led the way, her steps precise, almost silent. The energy around them seemed to respond to her presence, clearing obstacles and revealing safe paths. Lien followed closely, keeping his eyes on the surroundings. The forest was alive in ways he had not expected. Light moved along the paths, guiding them but also testing their awareness. After some time, they reached a clearing near the rebel hideout. Lien could see small devices scattered around, pulsing with faint energy. He observed carefully, noting the shapes and frequencies. "These devices interfere with the palace barriers," he said quietly. "They are designed to create gaps and allow easy access for intruders." Tala nodded. "Exactly. We must disable them without alerting the rebels. Precision is key. Watch and learn." She moved forward, her hands weaving through the air. Streams of energy flowed from her fingertips, forming invisible barriers that surrounded the devices. Lien watched in amazement as the devices powered down, one by one, without a sound or explosion. Tala's control over the energy was precise, delicate, and completely effective. "Your people would be impressed with your skill," Lien said quietly. Tala glanced at him, a faint smile on her lips. "Perhaps. But skill alone is not enough. Understanding and respect matter more. Remember that." The intruders appeared suddenly, moving through the shadows. Lien tensed but Tala remained calm. "Observe," she whispered. The rebels were clever, but Tala's calm authority and the neutralized devices left them unarmed and uncertain. Tala spoke in her musical language, and Lien's translator converted it into words. "You are seen. Your actions threaten balance. Cease and understand before it is too late." The rebels hesitated, confused by the display of control and intelligence. Tala stepped forward, her presence commanding but not threatening. Lien could see the fear and respect in their eyes. They were not enemies in the traditional sense, they were misguided, needing guidance rather than punishment. Lien spoke quietly into the translator, offering his thoughts. They respond to reason, not force. You are right to guide, not attack. Tala nodded slightly. Humans have intuition. That is why you are here. Use it carefully. Help me communicate the choices before them. Together, they moved closer. Lien observed the rebels' positions, noting their hesitation. Tala's calm and clear commands, combined with the palace energy controlling the environment, guided the rebels to lay down their devices and follow instructions. Lien realized this was more than a mission, it was a demonstration of intelligence, courage, and diplomacy in action. After the devices were disabled and the rebels were secured, Tala turned to Lien. You see now, human. True leadership is shown in action, not words. Courage must be paired with wisdom. Power must be paired with respect. Lien felt a deep respect for Tala. He had trained in human strategies, but this was unlike anything he had seen. Her calm control, intelligence, and compassion created solutions that avoided violence while maintaining authority. We have succeeded tonight, Tala said. But there is more to learn. You must see how balance is maintained, how challenges are met, and how trust is earned. Lien nodded. I am ready, he said. He felt a new determination rising within him. He had come seeking knowledge, but now he was part of something greater. He was learning lessons that went beyond earth, beyond strategy, and into the heart of what it meant to lead wisely. Tala looked at him with approval. Good. Our mission has begun, but this is only the first step. You will see more, learn more, and understand more than most humans ever will. Follow closely, and remember everything. The two moved back through the forest, the glow of Zorith surrounding them. Lien felt a mixture of excitement and responsibility. He had never faced anything like this before, yet he was ready. With Tala guiding him, he felt that humanity might have a chance to grow in understanding, courage, and wisdom in the wider galaxy. For the first time, Lien realized that his journey was not just about diplomacy or exploration. It was about learning from a civilization far beyond Earth, about seeing what humans could aspire to, and about understanding the meaning of trust, courage, and leadership. The morning light of Zorith filtered through the translucent trees as Tala led Lien into the heart of the crystal forest. Each tree shimmered with a faint glow, and the leaves sparkled like countless tiny crystals. Lien walked carefully, feeling a sense of wonder mixed with tension. The forest was alive in a way he had never imagined. Be aware, Tala said softly. The forest responds to thought and presence. It is not dangerous unless you are careless or fearful. Lien nodded, taking slow, steady breaths. He felt the energy in the air, the subtle vibrations moving through the ground and the trees. He realized the forest was not just a location, it was a living system, aware and reactive. Small floating creatures glided among the branches, glowing faintly and observing them silently. As they walked deeper, the paths narrowed, twisting between massive crystal trunks. Some trees pulsed in gentle waves of color, while others emitted small sounds, like musical notes, whenever Lien brushed past them. He was careful to move slowly, observing the patterns and learning how to navigate without disturbing the forest. Tala moved effortlessly, her presence harmonizing with the energy around them. Light flowed along her skin in subtle waves, blending with the glow of the trees. Lien realized that she was not just walking through the forest, she was communicating with it, guiding them safely by understanding its rhythm. This forest teaches patience, Tala said quietly. Rushing or forcing your way leads to mistakes. You must observe, understand, and adapt. The forest rewards awareness and discourages arrogance. Lien watched a branch shift as they passed. The light along its edge brightened, guiding their path like a natural lantern. It is incredible, he whispered. I have never seen anything like this. Everything here feels alive. Tala glanced at him. It is alive because it must survive, like all of Zorith. The forest remembers those who pass through it, and it responds accordingly. Your presence can be gentle or harsh, depending on your actions and thoughts. As they walked, Lien began to notice patterns. Some paths pulsed more brightly, indicating safer routes. Shadows moved gently along the edges of the light, showing where the forest sensed potential obstacles. He realized he had to stay alert, not only for the rebels but for the natural dangers of Zorith itself. "Look there," Tala said, pointing to a low ridge ahead. "The energy storm from last night left weak spots. The forest will react unpredictably if we pass through without care." Lien followed her guidance, stepping carefully over glowing roots and avoiding small, floating shards of crystal. A soft hum filled the air, vibrating in his chest. He realized it was the forest communicating, warning them of potential danger. He concentrated, matching his breathing to the hum, and felt the tension in the air ease. After some time, they reached a clearing. The light here was brighter, and streams of energy flowed through the air in visible waves. In the center of the clearing, Lien noticed a small device, similar to the ones used by the rebels. It pulsed faintly, reacting to their presence. "This is one of their monitoring devices," Tala explained. "It is harmless alone, but combined with others, it can disrupt our energy fields. We must deactivate it carefully." Lien stepped closer, examining the device. He could see faint wires connecting it to small nodes on the ground. "I think I understand how it works," he said. "It creates interference by synchronizing with energy flows in the forest." Tala nodded. "Then disable it without fear. Do not rush. The forest will guide you if you act with respect." Lien reached out, following her instructions. He focused on the energy around the device, matching its rhythm with his own calm thoughts. Slowly, the device's pulse dimmed, then ceased entirely. The forest responded immediately, light waves flowing smoothly, and the hum of energy became steady and gentle. "You did well," Tala said. "Observe, understand, and act with purpose. That is the lesson of this place." Lien felt a sense of accomplishment. He had not only contributed to the mission but had learned to communicate with the living environment of Zorith. He realized that human ingenuity, combined with observation and patience, could achieve what force alone could not. As they continued their journey, Tala began to speak about her people. "Zorithians have lived in harmony with this planet for many generations. We have learned that strength comes not from destruction but from understanding, cooperation, and adaptation. Humans have potential, but you must learn to balance curiosity with responsibility." Lien listened carefully. He realized that this journey was teaching him more than strategy. It was teaching him how civilizations could thrive through respect, observation, and intelligence. He felt proud to be part of this mission and determined to learn all he could. The forest grew denser as they approached the edge of the rebel hideout. The light became dimmer, but Tala's presence kept the energy balanced. Lien noticed shadows moving in the distance. Small creatures, curious about their passage, floated around them, observing silently. "Stay close," Tala said. "The rebels may notice disturbances. We must remain cautious but confident. Fear will make the forest react against us." Lien nodded. He could feel his pulse steady as he focused on the forest's rhythm. Each step felt intentional, measured, and harmonious with the world around him. He realized that every action mattered here not just for safety, but for understanding. As they reached the outskirts of the rebel area, Tala stopped. "From here, we must proceed carefully. Observation first, action second. We can influence without confrontation, but we must remain vigilant. Do you understand?" "I understand," Lien said. "I will follow your guidance." Tala smiled faintly. "Good. Remember, the forest teaches more than strategy. It teaches patience, awareness, and respect. These lessons are as valuable as any plan." Together, they stepped into the final stretch toward the rebel encampment. The energy of the forest seemed to hum with anticipation, guiding them, testing them, and preparing them for what lay ahead. Lien felt a mixture of excitement and responsibility. He knew that this journey through the crystal forest was more than a path, it was a lesson in harmony, courage, and wisdom. With Tala by his side, he felt ready for the challenges ahead. The rebels were close, but he had learned the lessons of Zorath: observation, patience, respect, and courage. He realized that humans, too, could learn to meet challenges with intelligence and heart, just as he was learning here in the living heart of the crystal forest. As they moved closer to the rebel hideout, Lien felt a deep sense of purpose. This journey was teaching him that true strength came from understanding and cooperation. He was no longer just an observer, he was part of a story that could change the future of both Earth and Zorath. The edge of the crystal forest opened into a small clearing, where Lien could see the rebel encampment. Tents of woven crystal and floating devices glimmered under the faint light. Tala and Lien paused at the forest's edge, observing silently. Lien's heart beat faster. This was the moment he had been preparing for. Tala's voice was calm. Observe first, human. Understand them before we act. Fear and haste can make situations worse. Lien focused, noting the positions of the rebels and their devices. Some were examining tools similar to the ones he had seen before. Others moved cautiously around the tents, whispering in a language he could not fully understand. The energy in the clearing was unstable, small pulses flickering as the devices interacted with the environment. They are clever, Lien whispered. They know the forest and these devices well. Tala nodded. That is why we must be smarter, not stronger. Notice their patterns. Find their hesitation. Leadership is about insight as much as courage. They advanced slowly, keeping to the shadows of trees and glowing roots. Lien felt the hum of the forest beneath him, its energy responding to Tala's presence. He realized that even the environment was on their side, guiding them toward solutions without unnecessary violence. One rebel moved closer to the devices, adjusting settings. Tala stepped forward, her hand raised. Streams of light flowed gently from her fingertips, forming invisible barriers that prevented the devices from activating further. The rebel froze, startled. Stay calm, Tala said, her voice clear and musical. You are not in danger, but you must follow guidance. Lien watched as Tala moved through the camp, her movements deliberate and precise. She neutralized the devices one by one, never touching the rebels, yet controlling the situation completely. Her presence alone commanded respect, and the rebels gradually lowered their heads in submission. You see now, Lien, Tala whispered. Power is not shown through force alone. Influence, strategy, and understanding can resolve threats without bloodshed. Lien nodded, inspired. He had faced difficult challenges on Earth, but this was beyond anything he had imagined. The rebels' fear and respect were evidence of Tala's leadership. He understood why she was the princess of Zorath. Tala paused at a central device, one larger and more complex than the others. It pulsed with energy, connected to multiple points around the clearing. This is their main device, she said. It must be disabled carefully. I will guide it, but you must watch and learn. Lien observed as she extended her hands. Streams of energy flowed through the device, synchronizing with its pulses. Slowly, it powered down, its glow fading until the forest around them became calm and steady. Lien felt the energy shift, the forest responding with harmony. The rebels looked on, uncertain and impressed. Tala approached them, her voice steady. You have been misled, she said. Your actions threaten balance, but you are not enemies. You must choose to understand, or your choices will have consequences. One rebel stepped forward, his expression hesitant. We wanted to test strength, he said. We did not know the consequences. Tala nodded. Understanding comes from guidance, not punishment. You will be allowed to learn from this experience. Your devices are disabled. Your path forward depends on the choices you make now. Lien realized how rare this moment was. He had seen conflicts on Earth resolved through violence, but here, strategy, respect, and intelligence achieved peace without harm. He felt a sense of hope for humanity. Perhaps humans could learn to lead in ways that did not rely solely on force. Tala turned to him. Now, human, you will see the next lesson. Observe how decisions and courage shape outcomes. Lien watched as the rebels slowly began to cooperate, removing devices and following Tala's instructions. The tension in the clearing eased, replaced by cautious understanding. Tala's presence had transformed fear into respect, conflict into opportunity. You did well to follow my guidance, Tala said softly. Humans often rush to act. Observation, patience, and measured response can achieve what brute force cannot. Lien felt pride but also humility. He had contributed, but he had learned far more than he had taught. He realized that leadership was not about dominance, it was about understanding, strategy, and the courage to act wisely. The forest seemed to settle around them as the last devices were neutralized. Lien felt the energy shift, calm and steady. Tala smiled faintly, her presence radiating quiet authority. Let this be a lesson, she said to the rebels. You are capable, but you must align your strength with wisdom. Zorath thrives not on destruction, but on harmony. Choose to build, not to disrupt. The rebels nodded, accepting the guidance. Lien felt a surge of relief. The confrontation had ended without violence, and yet the lesson had been clear and effective. He realized that humans could learn much from Zorathians about leadership, courage, and strategy. Tala turned to him. You see, human, challenges are opportunities to learn. Strength is important, but wisdom is greater. Compassion and understanding can achieve what force cannot. Remember this lesson well. Lien nodded, absorbing every word. He had come to Zorath to learn, and this mission had already taught him more than he had expected. He understood now that humans could aspire to greatness not only through technology and exploration but through intelligence, courage, and compassion. As they prepared to leave the clearing, Tala glanced at the rebels one last time. Go in peace, she said. Learn from this experience. The choices you make now will shape your future. The rebels nodded and retreated, leaving the forest calm once more. Lien looked around, marveling at the harmony of the environment. He realized that the crystal forest, Tala's guidance, and the way the mission had been conducted all taught the same lesson: leadership and courage were not just about action, but about understanding, patience, and respect. Lien turned to Tala. I understand now, he said. Leadership is about wisdom and guidance, not just strength. Humans could learn much from Zorath. Tala smiled faintly. Yes, human. You are learning well. But remember, this is only the beginning. Greater challenges lie ahead. Your journey is far from over. Lien felt a surge of determination. He had learned the value of patience, observation, and strategy. He had witnessed a civilization thriving through intelligence, courage, and compassion. And he knew that humanity could aspire to the same, if only they were willing to learn. Together, Tala and Lien walked back through the crystal forest, the glow of Zorath surrounding them. Lien felt a mixture of excitement, responsibility, and hope. The confrontation with the rebels had been a test, and they had succeeded without harm. He realized that true strength came not from destruction, but from understanding, courage, and careful action. As the forest cleared and the palace came into view, Lien knew that the lessons of Zorath were just beginning. With Tala guiding him, he felt ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The journey through the crystal forest had taught him courage, patience, and the power of intelligence. And he knew that the final lessons were yet to come. The palace glowed softly as Tala led Lien through its halls. The events in the crystal forest had passed, and the rebels had been guided toward understanding. Yet, Lien knew that the lessons he had learned were far from over. This journey was not just about survival or strategy, it was about vision, responsibility, and the future. Tala paused in a large chamber filled with flowing light and images floating in the air. The projections showed Earth and Zorith, side by side, with stars and planets between them. Lien could see the vast distances and realize the potential for connection, learning, and cooperation. "Look at this," Tala said. "Our worlds are separate, yet our choices can affect each other. Humanity is still young in the galaxy, but you have the potential to grow, to learn, to achieve greatness. You have already shown courage, insight, and willingness to understand. These are the qualities that matter most." Lien gazed at the projections. "It is overwhelming," he admitted. "But I feel ready. I see now that humans can learn from Zorith, and perhaps we can also teach, in our own way, what we have learned through struggle and experience." Tala nodded. "Yes. Learning is never one-sided. Every civilization has something to share. But growth comes from understanding responsibility, courage, and wisdom. You must carry these lessons back to Earth, carefully and with respect." Lien felt the weight of her words. He realized that the future of human-Zorithian relations depended on the choices he made, the knowledge he shared, and the example he set. His mission was more than observation, it was a responsibility to inspire growth and cooperation between two worlds. Tala led him to a raised platform at the center of the chamber. Streams of light danced around them, responding to their presence. "Here," she said, "is where our knowledge is preserved. Every thought, every discovery of Zorithians is stored in energy form, accessible to those who are trusted and ready to understand." Lien stepped forward, feeling the hum of energy beneath his feet. He reached out carefully, and the projections shifted, displaying information about Zoritha's history, technologies, and philosophies. He felt a thrill of understanding, realizing that this knowledge could help humanity solve problems, grow wisely, and explore responsibly. "Take what you can understand," Tala said. "Learn not just facts, but principles. Knowledge without understanding is dangerous. Use it with wisdom, courage, and compassion." Lien focused on the images, absorbing everything he could. He saw how Zorithians had solved conflicts without bloodshed, balanced energy systems without harm to nature, and guided their people through challenges with intelligence and care. He realized that humans could aspire to the same ideals. After a while, Tala spoke again. "You have learned much, Lien. But the final lesson is about vision. Leadership is not only about solving problems, it is about inspiring others, guiding civilizations toward better futures, and understanding that courage, intelligence, and compassion are inseparable." Lien nodded, understanding her message deeply. He had seen courage in the Crystal Forest, intelligence in Tala's strategy, and compassion in the way the rebels were guided without harm. He felt determined to carry these lessons back to Earth. "You are ready," Tala said softly. "Humanity is not yet fully prepared for the challenges of the galaxy, but you can help them grow. Share what you have learned, inspire others, and show that courage, wisdom, and respect can guide even the youngest civilizations toward greatness." Lien felt a deep sense of purpose. He realized that his journey to Zorith had changed him not just as an explorer, but as a representative of humanity. He could see the potential for humans to rise, not through conflict, but through understanding, cooperation, and intelligence. "Thank you," he said. "I will carry these lessons. I will do my best to help humanity grow and to maintain the trust you have placed in me." Tala's eyes glimmered with pride. "I believe you will, Lien. The path will not be easy, but the effort is worth every challenge. Remember what you have learned: courage without wisdom can fail, knowledge without understanding can harm, and strength without compassion can destroy. True greatness combines all three." As they walked back through the palace, Lien noticed the calm energy flowing through the halls. The palace had been a teacher, the Crystal Forest had been a guide, and Tala had been the living example of leadership, courage, and wisdom. He realized that this journey would remain with him forever. They arrived at the main chamber where the portal to Earth awaited. Lien looked at the swirling light, feeling a mixture of anticipation and responsibility. Tala placed her hand on his shoulder. Go, human. Share what you have learned. Show your people what courage, wisdom, and compassion can achieve. The future is in your hands, and in the hands of those who are willing to learn. Lien nodded, stepping into the portal. The light enveloped him, and he felt the energy of Zorith flow through him one last time. He carried with him not only knowledge but a deep understanding of what leadership and greatness truly meant. When he emerged back on Earth, Lien saw familiar skies, cities, and people. Yet, he felt changed. He looked at his world with new eyes that had seen the power of intelligence, courage, and compassion in a civilization far beyond Earth. He knew that the lessons of Zorith could inspire humanity to grow, to explore, and to act wisely. The journey had shown him that humans were capable of greatness, not through conflict or domination, but through understanding, respect, and cooperation. Lien took a deep breath. The future of Earth was uncertain, but he felt hope. He would share what he had learned, teach others the lessons of Zorith, and show that humanity could rise to meet the challenges of the galaxy with courage, wisdom, and heart. And somewhere, across the stars, Tala watched from Zorith, knowing that the seeds of understanding had been planted. Two worlds, connected through courage, intelligence, and compassion, had begun a journey that could change the galaxy. For Lien, this was not the end. It was the beginning of a new chapter for himself, for Earth, and for the future that awaited all who were willing to learn. The journey through Zorith had shown him that greatness was possible, and that humanity could rise to meet the stars, not with fear, but with wisdom and heart. The portal closed behind him, leaving Earth in its quiet night. But for Lien, the lessons of Zorith burned brightly within him. And the future, vast and full of possibility, awaited the courage and wisdom of humanity.